last night, so knew you want to have some questions for him, and then I also know you have other questions about other subjects. So if we can do Hall of Fame first, and then we'll answer your other questions too.
So if you just raise your hand and we'll get a mic over to you. Bob?
Bob Parker, Sporting News. I guess, Bruton, about a month ago, somebody asked you about what you would think if you got into the Hall of Fame, and you kind of implied that maybe you really didn't care. And now, I guess after watching last night, maybe you've either had a change of heart or maybe feel a little bit differently. So I guess, can you kind of describe what it was like to see your name on the screen and how you feel today?
Bob, I think, number one, when I made that statement, I didn't realize that it meant so much to so many people. I have about 15,000 employees, and I started hearing from them and a lot of friends, and I found out that that meant so much to them, and some of my family, you know, of course, all of them chimed in, and so that helped to correct what I'd said, say, a month or 2 months ago. So I'm delighted that my name has come up. It's wonderful, and I think that if I am inducted at a later time, I'll do whatever I can to help to grow the facility in Charlotte and continue to help grow the sport.
Any other questions? Oh, yeah, good.
I guess, were you upset that you hadn't been nominated before, or was it, I mean, because you were on the voting committee at least for some time.
Well, I had heard over the period of time from a lot of people, and I just would not let it bother me one way or the other. I just didn't. And I don't think I was upset about it. It's just, matter of fact, some of it I thought was rather comical, and so I just smiled and went ahead and continued to work with all the things that I have to do.
Let's go to Terry right here.
Terry Blunt, ESPN.com. Bruton, of all the people that are on the nominees list at the moment, who would you like to see next to go into the Hall of Fame?
Eddie Gossage.
That's a shoe-in.
Jerry?
I haven't thought about that. I'll maybe one of these days I can give you an answer, but today I haven't thought about it.
Jerry Fraley, Dallas Morning News. Bruton, given everything you've been able to accomplish, why do you think this took so long?
I don't know. I don't think it's a mystery. I think that maybe everybody in this room, I think, would probably have the answer for you, but I don't believe I'm going to give you an answer. But it's. But I want to take a little moment here and thank all of you people, because so many of you have come to me over the last couple of years. Why not? Why not? You know, I don't have the answer to that, but I would say thank you to all of you. I know you had a huge input in this, and I'd like to thank all of you for this.
Any additional questions?
Okay, we'll leave now. Thank you. So,
Well, no,
sorry.
I recognize that gentleman.
Mike?
I hope so.
I couldn't see you there behind.
Curtis Turner's been nominated. What do you think about that? He was one of your partners, and then he wasn't one of your partners, and then, I don't know.
Curtis Turner was a fabulous race driver. Not many of you in the room probably ever saw him drive a race car, but he was the absolute as far as a race driver was concerned. He could do more with a car than anybody that I ever saw. I mean, but I don't know. It just depends, because Curtis was ahead of our time, and here again, he would maybe lack some support today that he would be needed. But if and when, I would say that everybody would be happy that did know him. Well, that didn't hurt very much.
Wasn't that painful?
Any additional questions?
All right, you have, yes, I'm sorry.
Beg pardon?
Have you worked on an induction speech yet?
Oh, no, I have not.
I wrote it 3 years ago for him.
Oh. Oh, that's right. You did, didn't you? I forgot about that. Yeah. Well, you know, I guess when you're inducted into these things, I've been inducted to 3 halls of fame, and it's a worthy thing, and it makes you feel very proud and thankful for what you've been able to do, and thankful for the people that support you and those type of things. And so I'm sure that this will be the biggest of what's happened to me before, if that occurs. And so we will just go on down the road and help to build this great sport that I love, and I've been involved forever, it seems like, because my first entry into it, I guess, was when I was 17 and I bought a race car. I think that was my first entry into it. So I've been around here for a while, since I'm 39 now.
It's 39, but parts of 7 decades.
Oh, my goodness.
That's pretty amazing.
That doesn't sound right, but go ahead. Thank you, sir.
Claire.
Over here.
I spoke to her last night. We had a long conversation, didn't we? Okay.
Thank you very much. I guess I'm wondering if you're hearing any more reaction to the sponsorship of the race. Expect anything going on here as a result of it, or if it's passed. I know that they're very, politically charged up. Even a letter from a legislator saying, asking Rupert Murdoch not to broadcast the race. And I wonder if you're hearing any more of that, or it's quieted down for you.
I haven't, but I don't even know who that person is. But whoever it is, I'm not going to vote for him next year.
Claire, since this race sponsorship was announced, we've received fewer than a dozen cards, letters, emails, etc. Of those, 2 were people that have bought tickets here before, and so there is no controversy. There's no big uproar or even a tiny uproar. As far as this senator, I appreciate personally a publicity effort. I really do. And so, but I think Rupert Murdoch will recognize it for what it is. That's 2 times he's bit at this apple. So he's gotten himself some publicity both times.
Well, I would like to thank, sir, I will get back to you. I promise you I will, because I've known you a long time. But I want to thank NRA for sponsoring this event, because they have been great to us, Speedway Children's Charities. We've raised, I guess all of you know, we've raised a little over $50 million over the years to support children. And NRA has been a big contributor to what we've done. And I thank them in many ways, and thank them every chance I get. And I'm glad to see that they are a sponsor. And since I've been here in Texas, I was in a restaurant the other day, and this lady came up with her husband. She did all the talking, and she thanked me and was so glad to see NRA here. And I thought that was awesome that this woman recognized that.
Have you ever had a sponsor, a fan walk up to you and say, "Thanks for bringing sponsor X"? Before?
I never thought about that, Eddie, but not to my knowledge.
That's...
No, I don't think so.
That is unusual.
This nice, wonderful person here.
I just wanted to ask Eddie if the NRA had bought any ads on TV, because, if you don't buy ads on TV, you don't get mentioned like that. I assume they have, but can you tell us on that?
I don't think they have, Mike. I'm not aware if they have, so... anything else?
Bob?
Bob Parker, Sporting News. Eddie, one of the comments from the senator is that the 6-shooter celebration does not promote gun safety. So I was curious just to get your response.
Oh, I think the fact that they're not loaded is a fairly safe thing.
Does the senator, does he ever watch Western movies? That way, I was just wondering. I mean, because if I've been watching them all my life. But I like Western movies. And I see 6-shooters there, and I was hoping maybe the senator would take a time out of less than busy career and maybe watch this.
Easy now. He's promoting himself. So
Well, me too.
It takes time.
I'm promoting, but remember I promised, because I'm obligated not to vote for that senator next year.
All righty. Well, just knew you guys wanted to see Bruton and ask him about the Hall of Fame, and also we wanted to answer those questions for you. So appreciate that. Now, we're on to the business of racing, and so neither he or I will answer any more questions on the NRA stuff going forward. So just so you guys know and understand, if you got anything else you want to ask on that, now's your time. Mr. Sturbin here, they're bringing a mic to you.
It's a racing question, Eddie. John Sturbin, RacingToday.com. There seems to be some controversy or some doubt. When was the last time this track was repaved fully? I know in 07 there was Dale's Dip. This
07?
This goes to tire wear.
Yeah, there was nothing. Bruton I'm working with memory here, and that's a dangerous thing. 97, it was new. 98, we repaved. It was either 99 or 2000 that it was repaved. Nothing was paved.
I think it was 2000, but I'm not sure.
So it's been 11, 12, 13 years. And we can look that up, John. I honestly don't know the answer off the top of my head.
It's 01 in the book here.
Okay.
Okay.
But,
but nothing else is, there's been no patch, nothing done to the racetrack in terms of its surface since then. If it was 07 when Junior said that about a dip down here over the tunnel in turns 1 and 2, we went back in and used some polyurethane, and there's a way to do it. We have survey points all around the Speedway. It's surveyed several times a year, and if it moves at all, we can go back in, and it's a delicate process that you can make a mistake in, but our guys didn't, and they were able to raise the dip back up some. I'm sure there's still a dip down there, but it's not nearly to the extent that it was. But as far as nothing's been done to the surface except that raising that dip and all that time.
I might add for John that the drivers I've talked to, John, they do not want us to pave it.
Yeah, Tony Stewart had a fit when he thought we had cut out and repaved something when Junior complained about that. Mm-hmm. And when he got here, he looked at it, he goes, oh, okay, thank God, and I was like, give me a little more credit than that, we know what we're doing. And so, you try as best you can to never touch the surface of the track if you can avoid it. So, Bullet Bob.
Yes, this is our last opportunity to ask questions. I've got one more.
This question about, and we'll talk to you. Go for it.
So,
you got 20, 30?
What?
You got 20 or 30 questions?
No, just one. Are you concerned at all about the fact that right now in Washington the gun debate is huge? You've just had the filibuster and you have some votes going on. Are you concerned that the spotlight being on that right now this week in Washington will kind of increase scrutiny of the sponsorship?
Who's scrutinizing? The only questions are coming from less than 10 reporters. The public isn't asking a question. I mean, they're not asking one question. So, no, I don't, and a senator from Connecticut. So, he would want you to spell his name right. Murphy. So, anybody else?
Jerry?
Sorry. Oh.
Natalie over here, Jerry.
Jerry Fraley, Dallas Morning News. Eddie, where are your ticket sales Have you up, down, in
at
the
all
same?
7 gates
No, I
on
mean-
the front street.
For this event, are they up, down?
They're
same?
flat. They're
Okay.
flat where they were.
Is that to be expected?
I always expect them to be up, but no, they're flat. And of course, if you saw the banner out there on the back of the Victory Lane Broadcast Center, this was the race a year ago that set the attendance mark for the 2012 season. So I suspect we'll have a very similar crowd tomorrow night.
Particularly with great weather.
Yeah.
Weather dictates what happens. It makes us, beautiful sunshiny day like we're having today, tomorrow, and Saturday. It makes us look like we know what we're doing. We always look forward to that.